Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ryan Newpel here with you, Noob Sports Show. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode 139 here in the middle of September. We're excited to have another great guest on today, as we always do. Today, I have Joe Brown. Let's get Joe on with me. Joe, are you with me?
I'm with you, Ryan.
Hey, thanks for joining me. I'm really excited to hear more about what you have going on in this crazy fantasy sports and sports betting and all of the above space. So thank you for giving us a little time.
Thanks for having me. It's the first time on a podcast, so I'm pretty excited.
Absolutely. Excited to hear your story and a little bit more about what's going on. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your work background and what kind of brought you from, where you were to where you are today.
All right. So my background is actually in accounting. I'm one of three partners in a CPA firm. We're a 20-person CPA firm right outside Philadelphia. I was born and raised in Philadelphia. But I've always had a passion for sports and the business of sports. So on the side in 2012, I founded Sluggersville, which was Philadelphia's first indoor baseball training facility.
Cool.
So started that. Operated that for 3 years, and then I sold that to a group that included one of the former Phillies. So, and then it just always liked sports and the business of sports. And it's interesting. Probably it was 2010. I sent my first email to a developer regarding getting into the fantasy sports industry. So DraftKings started in 2012, so that kind of tells you how long I've been thinking about this.
Yeah, cool.
Never got off the ground, but always talked about it, researched it. I'll be up at night with my iPad early in the morning drinking coffee and always following the crazy business of fantasy sports. And so in 2019, my wife finally said, "You've been talking about this for 10 years. If you're going to do it, let's do it." She said, "I'll help you. And let's get this thing going." So first thing I did, I joined the Fantasy Sports and Gaming Association.
Yeah.
I did that summer of 2019. I went to a conference in New York. I didn't have a product. I didn't have an idea. I just knew I wanted to get in, and that was a great move going there. I learned a lot, made a lot of connections. I mean,
yeah.
My marketing firm, my developer, my lawyers, my banker, everybody I'm using is, I met through the Fantasy Sports and Gaming Association. So that's what I did. And then, finally came up with an idea and got it into development and
cool.
It's kind of where we are today. So
good for you. And before we get into, what you're doing today and more about FantasyStand and all of that, let's talk a little bit about, because I didn't realize you kind of had this idea in 2010. I mean, that's a long time. And that's something I think a lot of entrepreneurial type people that happens, right? Where you have these ideas and they're kind of festering in your mind and you want to do it, but you never do it. And it just kind of takes just taking that jump, right? And just jumping in, diving in, and you don't know if everything's going to be perfect or everything's even going to work, but that's the spirit of an entrepreneur. So, I mean, I commend you for sticking with that, idea. And I'm sure over those years, the idea had morphed a little bit and what turned into what FantasyStand is today. But that's really interesting to me that it was that long ago.
Yeah, I mean, the first idea, I was actually going to do NASCAR fantasy. I bought a domain, racemyteam.com or something, I think it was called. And that was my idea at the time. NASCAR was kind of taking off. And I know they have some crazy fans that I thought would like. But cool. So it definitely has changed a lot through those years.
The whole fantasy space has changed as well, right? I mean, you mentioned DraftKings, but before DraftKings and FanDuel and all of that, there wasn't even this concept of the daily fantasy sports world. The kids playing today that are playing FanDuel and DraftKings, we didn't have that even concept back in 2010. It wasn't even a thing. And so it was all season long type stuff. So it's really, as an industry, developed as well.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, let's jump into FantasyStand. So tell us a little bit at a high level about what FantasyStand is and about the idea and the concept around it.
All right. So the idea is, it's a daily and weekly site, but I've set a score, so it makes me the house. But it's a traditional fantasy site. You build out a traditional team, $50,000 salary cap, but the score going into the contest that you need to beat. So if you beat the score, you win. You bet $100, you beat the score, you win an extra $100. But I also have, you know, a little incentive for whoever wins the contest. I do a 10% of the pot goes to the winner. So the one thing when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do here, and I talked to fantasy players, you hear the same complaint all the time. One, you don't win. You know, people say, "Oh, I never win. It's frustrating." Or, you know, which is even worse. You know, you think you have a great week, and you check the leaderboard, and you're nowhere near in the money. And I heard those frustrations, and I said, well, you know, if you know the score you got to beat going in, you make it a fair score. You beat the score, you win. Makes me the house, but still has their traditional model. And I think that's why the props are so popular, the prop fantasy. Yep. But I still think there's a place for the people that still want to build a traditional team and not just play props. They want to build their fantasy team and see how they perform, and people still enjoy doing that. So I kind of brought the house model together with a traditional fantasy model. So.
Yeah, I mean, I love that you built it based on a problem that you saw, or a few problems that you saw in the industry, and you know, you tackled those problems, and I'm sure you addressed those, you know, within FantasyStand. Also, love the headline as I was showing the site. I shown the site on live, but stand out from the competition. I love that. It kind of, you know, goes right along with the brand name and everything. So tell us about where it's at. Where is it at in development cycle? I mean, are you launched? Are you rocking and rolling, or where are you at now?
So last year I used the whole football season for beta testing, mostly family and friends. I got about 55 users. Great feedback. You know, there were some kinks to get worked out throughout the season, but things, you know, were working pretty good towards the end of the year. And feedback was great. People were like, we can't wait to play. I can't wait to be able to deposit money. So officially launched, I would say last week of football season, but I did use that week for one more week of testing. I didn't feel super comfortable with just testing last year. I wanted to make sure 1 week. So now I'm launching, ready to go this week. I'll have some free contests up this week with cash prizes, you know, to get some interest and get some people playing. And we're in 24 states right now. So it's kind of
that's good. So yeah, so you mentioned you know, right now free to play, and there's going to be some cash prizes. Now, is the intent later on that there'll be actually buy-ins and larger prize pools and all of the above?
Within the next probably week or two. We'll be ready to go and start taking deposits, and people will start playing for real money.
That's amazing. That's really cool. I'm excited. And so FantasyStand.com. Now, do you guys have an app, or is it all web-based? What's the best way for people just to start playing and checking it out?
Yeah, I'm starting web-based. I have an app in development. Right now I have just football, but also basketball is going to be next. I know basketball is real popular with the younger generation. So we decided we'll tackle that one next.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, just football is plenty for all of us right now.
That's all I need right now.
We love football season, and I mean, fantasy and football go right alongside each other. So we won't say just football. We'll say, yes, we got football.
Yes.
But that's amazing. That's awesome. So we'll have to make sure we go out and check it out. So FantasyStand.com. I went ahead and, as you can see on the screen here, FantasyStand.com. You can sign up for free right there. I'm sure you can sign up on the mobile website as well. But that's awesome. Go out there, check out some of the contests. I'll make sure I get in one as well, Joe, and hopefully can win the contest. We'll see, or at least compete. Man, I don't know. I used to think I was pretty good at this stuff, and then the older I get, I'm like, man, there's a lot better talent than me out there.
Yeah. Well,
fantasy football, it's a competition, that's for sure.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
It is. So where are you heading? So I mean, you mentioned, you know, we're actually heading into pay, you know, where people can deposit and play money, but you're building an app out, so you still have plenty of room to grow, lots of things to do. But besides those, I mean, you know, name a couple other things that you're looking to do over the next 12 months, I guess, with this. Yeah,
I mean, just continue to build it. The one thing I'm pretty excited about, we wanted to give back to the community. That was one of the things my wife said from the very beginning. So one of the first things we just invested in was we're going to have I think it's the sports and gaming industry's first mascot. So we have a live mascot who is going to be making an appearance next week, and we're going to do some naming contests, some fun TikTok stuff, and get them out and about in the community. So I'm pretty excited about that. And like I said, I think I'm the only one in the industry that has something like that. So
I love that. Unique. You got to have a unique selling point. You got to have a way to market, get your name out there. I mean, that's there's a lot of noise in this world. So just getting something a little different and a little to get eyeballs on you is important. So, and
something fun, that's another thing I want to do, just get something fun out there.
Cool. Well, I always ask this near the end of our talk. I want to, people listening to this are probably business professionals. They're probably iGaming professionals, people in fantasy sports or maybe sports betting world. Is there anything that you're looking for that maybe somebody listening or watches this on replay could potentially help with? I mean, anything maybe you're struggling with or that you're really looking for some help with that, that somebody here could help with?
Like I said, a lot of my partners through the Fantasy Sports and Gaming Association have been such a big help. But, I'm always looking for partners, always looking for advice. Feedback would be great. I would love to know, if people like it, what we can do better. And just continue to look to build it.
Awesome, Joe. Well, that's great. I really commend you on what's going on. I can't wait to check it out. I haven't signed up yet, but I'm going to sign up directly after this and make sure I get a lineup in there for week 2 of the NFL, which is coming this week. Hey, who's your team? You have an NFL team?
Philadelphia Eagles. I was pleasantly surprised by their first week. So
yeah, they played well. They looked really well week 1. We'll see if that can continue because I would say I was surprised as well.
Yeah. How about yourself?
No, myself, I'm just a football fan through and through. I always say, like, for some reason, the only diehard team I have is the St. Louis Cardinals in baseball. Okay. I grew up in the Midwest and really became like a St. Louis Cardinals diehard fan. And every other sport, like I love the heck out of every sport, like basketball, football, everything. But I just don't have that team. I don't have that team. So I guess that's what daily fantasy and weekly fantasy and sports betting and all that does to us. It kind of lets us cheer for others each week.
Yeah, that's true. I do love my Eagles, though, so I'm looking forward to this week. They get a tough matchup with the Niners.
Yeah, that'll be a really good game, I think. Niners had some injuries this last week, so we'll see if they can battle back through that. But I think that'll be a good one. So awesome, Joe. Well, I really appreciate it. Any last words, anything you want to say before we get off here?
No, just go check it out. And like I said, I'm going to have some free contests out with cash prizes this week. So you try it out for free. You don't have to deposit money and see if you like it and win some money. So
awesome. What's the best way anybody can get a hold of you if they want to get a hold of you and have questions or feedback?
I'm on LinkedIn. My email is jbrown@fantasystand.com. So you shoot me an email or find me on LinkedIn or even through the site. There's a chat. So
perfect. That sounds great. I really appreciate your time, Joe, and I wish you the best of luck. I can't wait to try it out. And everyone watching, I really encourage you to try it out as well. So thanks. Have a great day, Joe. We'll talk to you soon.
Ryan, thanks so much. This was fun.
All right. No problem. Take care. Bye-bye. All right. That was Joe Brown with Fantasy Stand. Go out, check it out, FantasyStand.com. Get signed up for free. Hey, there's some free competitions to play in week 2. Go out there, see if you can make some noise. That'll be a lot of fun. So really appreciate Joe coming on the show. Also appreciate you guys all tuning into this and watching either on replay or live. We encourage questions. We encourage comments. If you have questions for Joe, feel free to reach out to me or him on LinkedIn. If you want to see other guests that you really think would make a good guest on this show, please reach out to me, Ryan Knup. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me about anywhere as Knup, Knup, anywhere out there. So take care, everyone. Until next time, stay safe and have a great one. Bye-bye.